Hey guys, welcome back to Biblical Breakdown, episode 5. We're going to be talking about why Moses struck the rock twice and what were the consequences from that action. Alright, let's break it down. This is from Numbers 20, verses 1 through 12. The Israelites are complaining because they have no water in the wilderness, so God tells Moses, "Take the staff, gather the people, and speak to the rock. Water will come out." But instead of speaking to the rock, Moses loses patience, calls the people rebels, and whacks the rock twice with his staff. Water still comes out, but God is not happy. God's response: "Because you didn't trust me enough to honor me as holy, you're not going into the promised land." One mistake, and Moses is out. Seems extreme, but when you understand the symbolism, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. The rock isn't just a rock. It's a picture of Jesus and God's plan for salvation. This wasn't the first time Moses brought the water from a rock. Back in Exodus 17, verse 6, the people needed water, and God told Moses to strike the rock once. When he did, water flowed out, and the people were saved. It says, "Behold, I will stand before you there on a rock at Horeb, and you shall strike the rock, and water shall come out of it, and the people will drink." Early Christian thinkers like St. Augustine and even Paul himself saw this rock as a symbol of Christ. Paul straight up says in 1 Corinthians 10, verse 4, "For they drank from the spiritual rock and followed them, and the rock was Christ." Think about it. Jesus was struck once for our salvation. On the cross, he was pierced, and water and blood flowed from his side. John 19, verse 34. That water represented the spiritual life he gives us, just like the rock provided life-giving water for Israel. Fast forward to Numbers 20, we have another rock, another crisis, and another miracle. But this time, God tells Moses to speak to the rock. No hitting, no striking, just talking. "Speak to the rock before their eyes, and it will yield its water." Numbers 28. Why? Because Jesus was already struck once. He didn't need to be struck again. After the resurrection, we didn't need another sacrifice. Now, we just come to him in faith and ask for living water. No more violence needed. "Whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst." John 4, verse 14. So when Moses struck the rock twice, he messed up the symbolism. He was, in a way, re-crucifying Christ instead of trusting that God's provision comes through faith and obedience, not force. For Christ also suffered once for sins, the righteous for the unrighteous, to bring to you God. 1 Peter 3, verse 18. It was more than just a leadership mistake. It was a theological mistake that misrepresented God's plan for salvation. And that's why the consequences were so serious. So yeah, Moses' punishment wasn't just about anger issues. It was about misrepresenting God. It was a lesson in faith, leadership, and how small acts of disobedience can have big consequences. But here's the cool part. God still provided water, even though Moses messed up. God still took care of his people. That's called grace. Was Moses punished too hard? Or was God making a bigger point? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you're liking biblical breakdowns, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.